the Mill Creek Historical District. If all goes right, Kent could soon be home to South King County's first official historical district. As a group, the contributing homes reflect the evolution of a community from the early 20th century through 1959, the end of the historical period. So what led up to this effort to designate Mill Creek as a historical neighborhood? It all started with a neighborhood program grant.
We're looking for a fun community building project for our neighborhood council group to do that was, positive and encourage the neighbors to get together and talk about their homes.
We started the plaque project to honor our older homes and got to know our neighbors and learned about the history, and it's just kind of morphed into 44 people who would like to have a historic district.
We have a lot of older houses here that have been here since the beginning of the city. So we think we could, and we've had plenty of feedback from King County that says we are justified to become one. We have to convince everybody to do that.
We have no historical neighborhoods so far in the city of Kent that are actually recognized or something has been done on it, other than individual homes or landmarks.
While overall modest in design, the homes reflect a variety of architectural styles that were popular during the first half of the 20th century. Although many of the homes have been slightly modified in some way, as a group they still maintain a strong historical character.
What we do is go research all this at it's basically Bellevue Community College. Washington State has all the archives, and you can go in there and get all the tax records, and they have tax records back to 1905. But this is basically the oldest part of Kent. This is where the original business owners sort of started.
People are so proud of their homes and their history of their homes because a lot of them have lived in the neighborhood for a long time.
But the Mill Creek neighborhood is more than just a group of homes. Some of the stories of the neighborhood are what make it great.
We found out that a lot of the shopkeepers who worked downtown Kent and had buildings there, they lived in our neighborhood because Kent would flood all the time, for many years until they built the Howard Hanson Dam. And so this was high enough up out of the floodplain that they could come home and not be in the water.
We went to the Kent Historical Museum and sat down with some current Mill Creek residents and some from a few years back.
We moved into the house on Jason, Mr. Mergen's family home. Yep. In 1941, he moved in with his family. His dad built the house. And I stepped out into the backyard and I thought, oh my gosh, I feel like I've stepped back in time from my childhood.
I remember that old house, and I've visited Sharon several times looking at my old home because I'm kind of a sentimental old fool. She has kept a lot of the things in that home that I remember my dad had. There was 2 corner cabinets that he built, and they're still there, which I do appreciate.
About half of them are still pretty much the same.
Yes, a lot of them are. They haven't been changed one bit.
There's been some major on some and minor on the other.
We look at my grandparents' house now, and it's much different looking than we perceived it. When you're small, everything's big. As you grow up, it's amazing how it shrinks. But my grandfather had an enormous Gravenstein apple tree in that yard, and it produced apples that were just really fantastic.
Bud stole some of them, probably.
Blue paper and then pull it.
Yeah, well, good.
A lot of the houses were heated by coal, but Grandpa heated their house with wood, so he always had great big slab ends of cedar delivered down in the alley, and he would eventually wheelbarrow them down into the basement. And he also had a woodshed. Wonderful smell. You'd go in there and smell that cedar wood.
I'm a newcomer to the neighborhood. I moved to Kent in 1946. My dad was kind of a builder. He was a machinist by trade, but he liked to build. He had come from Vermont, and he had lived down near the river in St. Johnsbury, Vermont as a kid. And he remembered his house being flooded and almost washed away. So when he came to Washington, he always bought on the hill. That's why we ended up here on Temperance Street. We were far enough away from the river, the flood wasn't going to get to us. The sledding was, we waited for the snow to come. It was really an exciting time.
We used to go all the way to the top of James, and the top 2 blocks, 3 blocks were gravel in those days. And you'd come down there, sparks are flying, and we'd go all the way down to Central.
Invariably there'd be sledding accidents. People would come down there and they'd go off to the left and they'd go into Nelson's porch.
Down in the hole.
You remember that? Yeah. Oh, don't go in the hole, but some people did. We rescued a lot of people from Nelson's porch.
I remember times when we had the soapbox derby races down the street out here on Smith Street, and it was only 2 lanes, so you'd come out here and you'd sit on the curb. Here I am back at this museum as director, or president of the Historical Society. So I've kind of come in full circle myself. And it's really a joy to be in this house because as a child I did think it was haunted. It was scary, you know, walking home from school and you see these windows and it was just a big old kind of spooky house. But it's not to me now. It's really a charming home to be in.
President of the Historical Society, Nancy Simpson, gave us a tour of the museum and showed us some historical features.
The house has what are called pocket doors. They slide out and they're able to fit back into the wall. But this was used as not only retaining heat for the rooms. So if you were having dinner in here and you needed this room warmer, by shutting these doors, it would hold the heat. And it was a privacy provider. So Mr. Brighter, when he was having business meetings, he could close these doors and overall it was a privacy convenience. The benches, again, like your pocket doors, you know, pocket benches, they're for seating. You open the lid, it's storage, and primarily it was used for wood storage. So you could put wood down here and stoke your fireplace, and it was extra seating. The vents down at the bottom, the furnace then was a coal furnace and provided heat for this main floor, and the heat vents would come up through here. Throughout the house we have these lovely windows. We can tell the age of these windows. If you're in a certain position, they are very wavy. Whoever put these windows in, I tell you, at 100+ years old, these are still a viable window. You walk in and it's just this very warm, welcoming house.
From historical beginnings, now Mill Creek's current residents look to discover and protect the historical features of their neighborhood.
A lot of people found that it was pretty easy to go to the archives and do a little research on their home and find out, you know, get a great old archive picture of their home from, you know, 80 years ago.
If we succeed, this would be the first historic neighborhood in all of King County.
What does this historical neighborhood designation mean? Well, first of all, it protects the neighborhood from development. Buildings can't be torn down to make room for big apartment buildings. It limits growth and changes people make to their homes, and protects integrity of a neighborhood. A little piece of Kent history we call Mill Creek.